Hello, everyone, and welcome to FMK Anime. Host Meep, joined by my co-hosts Gilly and Dalron. Say hi, everyone.
Hi,
Hi,
everybody.
everyone. Damn it, me and Gilly went for the same bit again.
And this is the show where each week we talk about a list of anime. We are halfway through the season now, and our list has been cut down to 6 shows. At the end of each week, we can cut one show from our list if they get either 2 knives or 3 knives. 2 knives or 3 knives take precedence over 2 knives, but if we only have a show that has 2 knives, it dies. And
Oh, Meep, you're
well,
getting really choppy. Right
no,
off the
I'm
bat.
not. You're but yes, shall we jump into it, folks?
I don't see why not. Also, just
Well, let,
hold on, real quick. Say
let's
hi, Gilly, just so we have a voice distinction.
Hi, Gilly.
And let's turn off our alarm. You know what? Because this is our first time ever doing this, let's turn off our alarms, put ourselves on Do Not Disturb mode, and turn off any other sounds that may interrupt the recording.
you know Dal, it's partly your fault that I have that alarm. It's the alarm telling me to remind you to upload the episode.
Uh
I am joking, by the way. Well, okay, I'm
huh.
not joking. That is what that alarm is, but I'm joking about blaming you for it.
Uh huh. All of you, do not disturb. Meow.
I am on Do Not Disturb. But yes, let's jump right into it with Jujutsu Kaisen, episode 18. In this, Fushiguro and Arrow Boy do battle while Inumaki runs into Hanami. Inumaki retreats to them while Gojo and the other teachers go to help, but Gojo is denied entry. Old Man pulls out a guitar to fight a curse user, and the trio of kids make futile attacks against Hanami, who fights for the world's sake. Speaking of horror, this show did some really tense moments really good.
Eh,
You are certifiably wrong.
eh.
This show did exactly one of the two things I told you it would do for the tournament arc.
Yep.
Yes.
Because I made two guesses and I was and I had and I was right with one of them.
Which guess was it?
That it was going to get fucking interrupted by an attack.
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
Like, the thing is, I called that before we started the second part. Like, before
I
the
just didn't think it would
tournament arc
happen in
even
the first
started.
round.
I can't. No, I would. There's always it's such a
Well, okay.
shonen thing. It just
Okay.
always happens.
So a small I don't think that this is a multi-round thing. I think this was just going to be the only tournament game.
No, it says the first round is this, and then they were talking about, like, doing other things as the tournament went on.
Well, I shrug. I mean, I think after this whole curse attack, I think they're going to finish off, and then that's when we're going to get the duel between Itadori and Toto.
Oh, well, it
That's
depends
my
how
hope.
many people are fucking dead.
Listen, as Gojo said, if even one student dies, they lose.
Yep. Which feels like foreshadowing.
I don't think anyone's going to get murked this arc.
Nah.
As,
We set a
Each
precedent with the first half
e-
of the season.
when the episode where Itadori dies again.
But for reals this time. No, for realsies.
Mahito pulls out a Glock.
No, fucking yeah. I mean, with how much time they were spending on this first round, I saw the attack coming sooner than later. It really came out of nowhere.
By the way, official prediction. I don't. Is Hanami in the veil? Or not Hanami. Hanami is obviously in the veil. Is Mahito in the veil?
No, he seems to be out. Well, yes, because he was where Fushiguro and Archer Boy were fighting.
What's he? Okay, because my my official prediction for this is that while Hanami is keeping all of them busy there and distracting there, I think he'll. I think
Meep,
Mahito's
you're
gonna
chopping in and out, hop in and out, because your words are getting cut up, and we're losing your glorious. We're not getting what you're saying, my dude.
What I was saying was that I think while Hanami is distracting all the teachers and everyone by attacking the students, I think Mahito is going to go steal the fingies, because that's what this whole attack is for, correct?
I thought the whole attack was to isolate Gojo and seal him like a nine-tailed fox.
No,
No, they're not gonna seal him until
the Shibuya
Halloween.
incident. Yeah.
They've discussed that a few times.
Yeah, this is
Like
what they were talking about with Jogo.
in the anime, they're not gonna seal Gojo until Halloween.
Yeah, this is what they were talking about with Jogo in the hot springs of let's steal the fingers and present them to Sukuna.
What's the point of isolating Gojo then?
Because he's the one that can kick their ass. They keep
Yeah.
talking about that. They literally keep saying that he's their biggest threat, other than
Yeah.
Sukuna not being on their side.
Okay, fair enough.
It's literally
Yeah,
just
like-
we will get wrecked. We can't deal with Gojo. He needs to stay the fuck out.
The Jogo versus Gojo theme starts to play again.
Fucking Jogo starts sweating immediately,
Look,
like,
if Jogo went for Gojo again, that would just be like reliving his pain, because he would just get his ass handed to him once more.
Yeah.
Speaking of
No,
pain,
the funny thing is he probably wants to, because he still seems to think he can actually do something there. I don't know why.
Yeah.
let foolish men dream.
So,
Speaking of pain,
Yeah.
though, poor Miwa, just out of the bat, just Moshi Moshi des.
Hello.
Yep, useless Miwa here. How can I help? Go to sleep. Okay. Bye.
I felt. I mean, I do feel bad for her because she comes in here. She's tech. If I remember correctly, she's actually ranked higher than Maki, but Maki is just better.
Yeah.
Maki is specifically graded lower because of like inner
not having
family
curse
bullshit.
energy.
No, it's just
it's also that she doesn't have curse energy.
no. Her family, I think, if correct me if I'm wrong, because I've been wrong about this show before, but her family straight up refuses to promote her a curse grade because of it.
Specifically, they won't let her get on with any of the groups that would move her much farther.
Yeah, but she also doesn't have any curse energy, and the whole rating system is for their strength against cursed spirits, which you need curse energy to fight. That's why, while Mechamaru was ranked higher than Panda, Panda still had the upper hand.
Their grading system is very odd.
Yeah. Is it that Maki can't do curse energy? I thought she can't perceive it.
No.
She doesn't have curse energy. That's why she wields all these cursed weapons,
Yeah.
and why because even her glasses let her see cursed spirits, because otherwise she wouldn't be able to.
She had the opposite of what Mechamaru had. Her heavenly pact was she was born without a technique or cursed energy, but it makes her insanely strong.
Like superhuman strength. That even was discussed in the last episode when Mai was talking about her.
Which was
she has
Itadori
no cursed energy, but that's no, because Itadori has curse energy.
He's just shit at using it.
He's just shonen protagonist. That there's nothing else you can say there.
I mean, his family did have a shrine to Sukuna, a ceiling.
There might be more regarding it. There might be more regarding him, but I don't know when or if that will happen.
We went through this last season. That wasn't at his home. That was at the school.
No, I thought it was a point of contention.
That was a point of contention, and I remember coming back after watching through it the second time. Went, yeah, no, when Fushiguro is walking by that spot, I forget what it is, but it's a middle school.
Hello, children. Keep hold of this terrible cursed artifact. Thanks.
Because, and that's what Fushiguro specifically said, is these are placed in schools to prevent curses from going there, because schools have a lot of shame and regret. I wonder where the shame comes from. Looking at you kids in the closet.
That's a terrible fucking joke, mate.
I don't mean that in the way you think. I mean that in the fact of in high schools, at least in my high school, a lot of kids did a lot of things in the closets.
Literally. Okay, anyway, moving on.
Yeah, I
So,
wasn't talking about in the closet that way.
so, um, Fem Mahito is pretty hot.
Yeah.
Fucking. All right, I guess we're just jumping into the stroll then. First frame of like everyone being shown, I just straight up threw my phone to the side. I'm like, God damn it! Like I pulled my phone out, I made my little area where like stroll right between final notes and my regular notes for the show. Put stroll. I'm like, all right, what we got today? And just threw it to the side. God damn it. Anyway, I ship it.
I want to pin Fem Mahito against the wall.
That's not what I ship. I ship Tsundere
You
Jogo,
wouldn't be
and
able to.
fucking Hanami.
Fem Mahito is just
I
as scary as normal Mahito,
It's
but
true.
hot. Er,
I really liked Hanami this episode, by the way.
Oh yeah, I love Hanami. Like they are by far immediately my favorite curse.
kind of had a
Mahito is still mine.
No, I relate to Hanami the most. Like I don't think eco-terrorism is the way to do it, but I am very big into environmental advocacy and protesting, and I think there's a lot of rework we need to do in the way we like view our planet and the nature around us. So like seeing this curse come up and just being like, you know, the world cries for what humans have done to it and then follows up with like there are humans who are kind to the planet, but really what have they amounted to in the face of human greed? Truly be better if we just wipe out humanity. And I'm just like, man, this is fascinating. I want to see what the show will do with this because I hope I hope they drive a very strong environmental positive message because I'm all for that.
Hanami set up the Tree of Might.
Oh no.
look from the beginning when we first saw Hanami for the brief moment. Just the way that Hanami goes about things, I already liked it. I already liked them. Just the whole silence thing was great.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
and
Hanami
then they talk
is.
in reverse and they've created their own dialect apparently.
Yeah, like from the
Oh
very
yeah,
first time we saw Hanami where they saved fucking Jogo, I've been interested and wanted to see more. I still want to know what the fucking weird octopus thing does, but we'll get there when we
that
get
one's gonna
there.
be. Yeah, that one's gonna be the strongest, I think.
I still think Hanami is the strongest. I think the octopus is going to be the most destructive.
I
Because it might be a situation of the octopus thing having the most raw power.
No, I think
Yeah,
Hanami
I
has the
think
most raw
Hanami might
power.
be the weakest, but the most cunning. Jogo is going to be a good balance in the middle, uh, and I think Mahito has the most growth potential
I
because
don't
the
know.
whole hatred for
Oh
humans.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Mahito's definitely set up
You,
as the counterpoint to Itadori. Like he will grow as Itadori grows, and vice versa.
Which I've spoken about
Hanami's
also.
ready, strong as fuck. Like all attacks did nothing to them, her,
Well,
them,
Hanami
the
is
curse.
also going to be. I, I Hanami is definitely like a lot more up there than being the weakest because if you can't detect something, that's a whole other issue.
Are we doing
yeah,
Bleach? Are we doing fucking? Are we going into Bleach realms where it's so strong you can't even perceive its power?
so okay, when I say weakest, I mean in terms of raw power.
I don't
I
know.
don't know
Hanami
because like Hanami
tanked.
has this weird control over fucking nature,
Yeah, Hanami tanked a
which is a
cursed
terrifying thing.
sword and a blood grenade to the face.
Because in terms of thinking, we heard that Jogo is nine on a low estimate is 9 or 10 of Sukuna's fingers. I my estimate is that the octopus is going to be like 15 to 17. I think Hanami might be 7 to 9.
I again that you're saying. Oh, I don't mean it's the weakest, but it's the weakest. What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm in terms of raw power. I think Hanami, because you can't sense their cursed energy and they seem to be the most cunning. I feel like they're like in terms of raw cursed energy.
I disagree.
Again, we're getting into the whole grading system of
Yeah.
okay, this is their power against curses.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I think Hanami's going to be one of the strongest because the idea of the entire force of nature on the planet of Earth seems like a lot of power.
I don't know. I think people have feared the oceans way more than the forests, and people have feared like natural disasters and volcanoes. It's one of those things where we don't have a lot of information to go of right now. It's just a lot of hearsay we've heard from the other of the curses. I think Jogo is the midpoint definitely, and I think do we have a name for the octopus one?
Nah, at least not that I remember.
No, we haven't. There hasn't been a name stated in the anime.
Well, the adorable little
Oh
octopus.
no, wait a minute. It got stated one time. The very first time we saw the tease of Mahito, but that's the only time it's been brought up, and I don't remember.
Yeah, same.
Okay, hold on. Okay, I am wrong. At this current time, Mahito is the weakest, but I still think Mahito has the most growth.
Hmm.
Well,
We'll see how it goes.
Like I said, and Dalaran has repeated this time around, that he's the opposite to Itadori. He's gonna be the one that's gonna be supposed to grow into one of the strongest characters.
Oh yeah, and that's what fascinates me about Mahito is his growth potential. Because I can't wait to see him like steadily rising the ranks, and everyone going, "Fuck, this is a problem."
You know what fascinates me about Mahito, Hanami, and everyone else?
Yeah.
How there could be two massive curses, like special great curses, and a big curse user enough to apparently fight the principal, and no one fucking notices them. And they're just hanging out Jujutsu Tech, and no one notices them.
One thing now, I actually have a theory about that. I what if Hanami's ability can and be within a radius?
There's that, and it's one of those things where I think that all of them have a good way to send to like hold out their cursed energy. Because the only reason Jogo was found by Gojo is because he wanted him to learn. Like with the way fuck, why are their names so similar? With the way Jogo is, I don't think he'd launch a sneak attack like that. Like he's gonna have his enemy know he's there. He's way too prideful for that.
Look, we brought this up before, Meep. We got Gojo, Jogo, Hanami, and Nanami.
Okay. Wait, hold on. We should bring up the most important thing. The principal has a fucking electric guitar.
The principal is a punk. And I don't just mean... I'm sorry, I took a bite of chocolate not thinking that this will come up right now. The principal is a punk. And not just a punk-ass bitch, but like a little punk rocker. And that explains all the piercings and shit. Because he looks like this intimidating, like, shamanistic man, but in reality, he's just a fucking punk rocker. And I kind of dig it.
Yeah. I absolutely love the villains in the show because at this point the principal is still technically a villain, at least to Itadori.
He's the fucking worst.
He is the worst, what I think is going to happen by the end of this is that while he won't like Itadori or the fact that Sukuna is here, I feel like this is going to be the arc where Itadori proves his worth to.
Nah. I mean, sure.
Don't know. I have a strong feeling this principal is just going to not kill him today, but still want to.
I hope Hanami Orochimaru's Hokage Orochimaru's fucking the principal.
I don't want the Kyoto teacher to die though. She seems like a good bean.
She seems cool, but the principal
the one
sucks.
With the eye patch?
Does she have an eye patch? No, she just has a scar over the eye like Toto. The one that wears the kimono. The one that was like, oh, I'm
not a kimono, but yeah, the priestess attire.
Yeah. Her frustrations towards Gojo are warranted. So
yes.
I like her.
Why are you upset? I'm not upset. Oh, yeah, no, of course. Yeah. I mean, I haven't even done anything. Son of a bitch.
Look, everyone hates to love Gojo.
Except Miwa.
Yeah.
Miwa loves to love Gojo and her schoolgirl crush.
I mean, Gojo is a good father figure for Itadori.
Eh.
Itadori doesn't need a father figure.
Okay, older brother figure then.
They're best friends. We don't need to make it something like that.
No, he and Toto are best friends.
He's also best friends with Gojo and Fushiguro and Nobara. He's very good at making friends because he's a
Oh.
shonen protagonist.
Oh
Very
my
good at making
god.
best friends, apparently.
Is Itadori Krillin everyone's
He-
friend?
He's the Itadori has the power of friendship.
Oh, okay. We actually haven't gotten to barely any of the stuff in this episode. The fight with Arrow Boy was good.
Yep. I've been sitting here waiting. So Archer Boy is literally a self-induced crackhead, right?
Basically, and I like his story of.
That's how I live my life.
I actually like his story of him. His mother was a concubine to the head of the family, and the head of the family's proper wife didn't bear a child and inherited the technique, so he was adopted as the heir. And he's like, "No, my mother said I have to do this. I'm going to do this for her." And I like that. It gives a lot of incentive as to, okay, this is why he wants to do this. Well, it's still bad, and he shouldn't. He thinks it's the best as thinking as the heir to the clan, and that I don't know, he's interesting to me. I like him.
I'm glad you do, because I don't. I found his backstory to be like, okay, cool, I get it. There's explanation why he's kind of a dick, and why he's so rigorous, like why he's so rigid. I just don't find the character interesting. I'm like, all right, cool, you had a, your mom was like, the backstory is compelling. I don't care. I care more about Mekamaru, and Mekamaru's a bigger asshole than you, but at least Mekamaru's like affable. You, on the other hand, you're just kind of a dick.
I mean, I don't see like he's an asshole, yeah, but at the same time, the sorry, he's he's doing it for like in the mindset he is. This is the best thing for him, and thinking about it, like the whole because Itadori already went out of control once when he let Sukuna swap with him, and the idea of this vessel getting more power and that to everyone else, as Fushiguro said, to everyone else, he's a liability and a curse. Just thinking in that mindset, especially as being the heir to a clan who has to make these kinds of calls, and this isn't the Maki clan. This isn't. Well, all the clans except Inumaki's seem to be terrible. Uh, this isn't the Maki clan where it's like we know for sure they're certifiable assholes, and yes, we got insight that his clan are certifiable assholes too, but I don't know,
Pretty
it's
sure all
just
the
it's
clans.
fascinating to me.
Well, see, the thing is, though, him as a character, he is intentionally flawed in this respect. I mean, I understand the character. He's intentionally flawed in this respect to be the personification of the clan of that assholes that are the clans, right? Zenin, Maki, whatever you want them to be. Uh, they're all kind of like these traditionalistic dickheads, super rigid, super like, and they are their own shortcomings, and it makes, and I get the irony of him being as self-sabotaging, or like self-failing in his rigidness, but I still don't find him interesting. Like, I get what they're doing with him, but yeah.
Oh, I find him interesting. The idea of this person having to think in this mindset of I am one day essentially the person's like one day I'm going to be the president of this country. I have to think in that mindset. And I don't know, that's fascinating to me. Just someone trying to think in that mindset when they really don't want to. Like there was actual resentment he held towards his clan in those flashbacks. Like there was a certain inflection he was speaking with when he's like, "Well, why do I get this special treatment when you treat my mother like dirt?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he's doing this for his mother, and I don't know. I like the idea that he's just having to do this as the heir of the clan.
Yeah, you know, I hear you.
But at the same time, Inumaki was also really good this episode.
That's Voice Boy, right?
So, yes, we know his voice doesn't work well on creatures that are a lot stronger than him, right?
No. Is that right?
Yeah. That
Because his power was the only
it
one that
said when they
worked
were
on
talking
Hanami.
about. Yes, and in the that I was going to make the point about that because when they were talking with Maki and Itadori in the funeral frame, they were talking about why he speaks in the kelp ingredients. They're like, well, the stronger his opponent, the less effective they'll be, and the more what do you call it? And the more backlash there'll be on himself. That's why I found it interesting that his voice worked so well on Hanami.
What I'm talking about is they weren't talking about enemies, they were talking about the strength of the words he used could have
Mm-hmm.
higher backlash.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about the words themselves. Like if he just said die, it would probably kill. It has a chance of killing him.
Didn't they also mention that the stronger the opponent he's facing, the less effectiveness it'll have?
I don't remember.
I don't remember that being stated though. That's just sort of a generalized thing in the first place. Any
I'd have to go
enemy
back and watch.
stronger, they'd be more resistant.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and watch that episode because it's been a bit.
But what I remember very distinctly from when they were talking about that was certain words are very the strength of his words increases the damage to himself.
Mm.
Indeed, his technique also hurts him, so he needs to be very careful with how he uses it, which is why he doesn't just walk in and one shot everyone.
And it is also interesting that now we know it's not just he can only say one word; he can say at least three because he said "go to sleep" to Miwa, and he was able to say "run away" to Itadori, or not Itadori, to Fushiguro, and I can't remember Arrow Boy's name.
Archer Boy.
Yeah.
I do know they also talked about when they talked about his powers, they did mention an effective range as well.
Mm.
Because after a certain range, even though he can do it over the phone, it either just doesn't do it just weakens to nothing or is a lot less effective.
Yeah. I really liked this episode. There were really the two tense moments that I was talking about was when Hanami was doing his speech after establishing the connection, like the music they were playing, because Hanami takes the freeze stance. That's what he does. And the idea of they don't understand what he's saying, but they understand the meaning of his words. That was really creepy.
I think Hanami's
And
supposed to be female? Question mark.
okay, so from what I was able to gather, the curses don't have genders. They're just all referred to with male pronouns because it's uh
Right.
well, there's no specific reason. It's just they're all referred to with male pronouns, but the curses themselves don't have genders because, well, they're
What is your
what's
gender? Evil.
Evil.
they they're born from feelings.
What are you born from? Horny.
God damn it. Shall
Oh
we hold up
God,
cards?
the curse of lust. Yeah, I'm good to hold up cards. Can't believe Delaron's gonna kill this episode.
Oh, if you want me to go first, I don't know. This episode at first was losing me. Like, the fight kind of happened from fucking nowhere. We just jumped right into, like, Fushiguro and Archer Boy going in. No warm up, no loop, no nothing. Just, boom, okay, I guess this is happening. And then they kind of, like, start spouting their own Edge Boy, like, philosophies. Like, no, this is the way the clans have to be. No, this is the way the clans have to be because I choose it. And I'm like, I don't care. I really don't. Like, I was just watching, I'm like, alright, cool. Anime moment. Um, but the fight was cool in enough in and of itself. I thought like the blood work was cool. It didn't go super. Um, Sorry, red chat. I'll read that out in a second. Um, I kind of wanted more, and we're gonna get more, right? So I should be glad that we're not blowing everything off. Hanami's terrifying because they are just shirking every single thing off. However, like I'm starting to like not. I'm starting to lose immersion in the show because like the principal from Kyoto fucking sucks, and like the fact that no one catches him doing anything, replacing the cursed with like a first grade, doing this, plotting that, and no one's doing anything about it. It's like things just keep overall happening, and I'm like, what? Why is none of this getting caught? I don't understand. But at the end, it did pull it back. It kind of pulled me back in. Hanami's super cool, and I really want to see what happens next episode because like the stakes are really high.
The the thing with the Kyoto is it was said in our first episode back that while the event is being held at the Tokyo school, the losing team got to decide the events and got to do the planning for it. That's why no one was able to catch on. It was only Kyoto that got to be involved in that.
I just don't understand how all these jujutsu sorcerers and no one's picking up on the bullshit.
Because a lot of them probably agree with him.
You know what? Good point.
As far as we know, the only teachers that do care about Itadori are Nanami, uh, maybe the principal, probably the principal, and Gojo.
Also, really quick readout from chat. Woman, no, you misheard me. I identify as Omen. I'm neither male nor female. I identify as a warning, which is great.
I'll go now. I still love this anime. This was, well, I wouldn't say the best of this core. That one goes to the last episode, Maki versus Mai. That was the best one. Well, I get what you mean by this fight had no lead in. It did kind of, but it has much lead in as the Maki versus Miwa fight, which that one was also a lot like this one, where it was like, yeah, it was just starting and it didn't really have a resolution, but I don't know. I'm really excited to see the fighting with Hanami. Fushigiro's new sword looked really good. We didn't end up talking about that, but that was a lot of fun. The We finally got our blood Jujutsu sorcerer too. I was waiting for that.
You're doping.
This is still like ramping up to be the best shonen out there, and I absolutely adore the show. It is the best for this. It's the best this season for me.
Also, to be clear, I held up the fuck card. I don't think I said that. I am fucking this show as well. Just the beginning was really losing me fast until the very end. Gilly.
Yes, that's my name.
Which of the phallic instruments shall you use on this show?
I'm just gonna say right now before I actually give an answer. Don't refer. I feel like you shouldn't refer to a knife as a phallic instrument.
You'd be surprised.
That doesn't go there. Sorry. that might be your thing, but you're wrong.
That's how those metal pieces got there.
Oh, me.
No, I am going to fuck this episode. But yeah, I'm kind of in the same place where I'm very iffy on it. I just didn't have as good a time here.
Yeah, fair enough.
Hmm.
So that's a trifecta, I do believe, yes?
I'm really excited for the next episode.
Yeah, actually, I think I think my hype for the show relies on what they do with Hanami right now. But actually, that's not true. I've been thoroughly enjoying this season. It's just this last episode. Just I'm like, what the? Okay, like, things are happening. Cool.
Sorry, everything cut out. You think what?
I just think like this last episode kind of threw me off because I'm like, all right, things are happening. I guess cool. Just boom. I just can't wait for the Kyoto Principal to get third Hokage.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, and with that, I do believe we're on to our next show, right, Meep? Unless Meep is dead. In which case I shall continue vamping. Yes. Hello, everyone. How are you doing?
I'm sorry, Dalaran, but you're not doing ASMR here. I'm sorry.
My microphone is too far for me to do ASMR. Yeah, we've already spent a lot of time on Jujutsu Kaisen, but I guess we're going to spend a little bit more. Um, yeah, I don't know. Just something about this episode didn't like ring with me. However, we didn't talk about this, but the water effect when Fushiguro summoned his elephant shadow was really cool. Got that like Demon Slayer vibes of just like beautiful like ink on paper, kind of like calligraphic wood print even style like water, and like that was just a nice visual effect that I really appreciated.
Yeah.
She was dope.
It
Yeah.
was good shit.
I want more. Give me more. I mean, we're getting a lot of combat. Like, am I being too greedy? Do I want more of what I cannot have? Or it's not even more of what I can't have. It's like, do I just want more of what I'm already been getting?
Possibly.
Now giving me a lot to work with here, Gilly.
That's what I'm good at.
God damn it. Motherfucker.
You're welcome.
For fucking what? That might be your
Uh,
thing, but you're wrong, Gilly. Thanks, chat. Just gonna cut this part out. Gonna take a little quick break here because Meep's Discord fucking died.
Cells at work. Code Black, episode 6. Yeah. The red blood cells travel to the kidneys, and then to the urinary tract, where they see a kidney stone breaking into the vein. The kidney stone is broken up, but it lets in a legion of germs that try to siege the kidney.
And
How are you
once
two feeling
again,
about this episode?
I'm stuck asking how the fuck is this miserable dude alive? The one time he gets a fucking urethra endoscopy thing, and did he go to like a back doctor clinic? Why is the tool that he was using infected? God damn it!
I think that's actually what the thing is he probably doesn't have enough money to pay for a legit doctor. Hell, he's probably doing that himself.
No, I hope not. Holy shit! But yeah, the moral of the story is blood in your piss is bad, and
you sure?
hmm?
You sure about that?
Am I sure that blood in your piss is bad? Yes, I am sure.
Ah. Maybe I should see someone about that.
Maybe you should.
Am I joking? Am I not?
Oh,
Nobody will know except me.
I forgot to mention Granny dies.
Yeah, Oba-chan, Oba kidney-chan, which I don't know if that actually is going to have lasting side effects on the kidneys or not. That wasn't really clear.
It was implied because the kidney cells can't reproduce, so like when a bunch of them die, then they can't really without a kidney transplant, they can't be
Yeah, or
fixed.
stem cells.
But are stem cells a good idea?
You know what? Do I want to enter this discussion at this
No.
time?
Come
You're right, Gilly. I don't.
on, Dal, you opened up that can of worms. Eat it.
There's stem cells can be a miraculous cure. It's all about the ethics and morals of the situation. Anyway, here's something else I
Opened
know.
up this can of worms, now lay in it.
I want
Kidneys.
my kid to be an anime boy. Let me put stem cells into my semen.
Kidney stones make me uncomfortable almost as much as what Meep just said.
Ha- I've had a kidney stone before. It's not fun.
I am so sorry to
I
hear
have
that, my
too.
dude.
I have too. That's why I stopped drinking energy drinks for a while.
What the fuck, guys? You're younger than me.
Oh, I had to pass it at
Yeah,
work.
but
That wasn't
yeah,
fun.
but I was working at Walmart and I was surviving off of cheesy bean and rice burritos and sweet tea from Taco Bell.
We need to reassess the way we treat the way we define quality of life and the
Here's the
standards.
thing, Dalaran. Some of the things that can actually cause kidney stones are not unhealthy foods. You
Yeah,
can get kidney stones from eating too much kale.
yeah. It's what calcium, sodium, and one more thing, and potassium buildup.
It's actually specifically there's certain it's foods containing this certain material that actually can actually just increase your likelihood of developing kidney stones, and it is found in dark green vegetables, black tea, beans, nuts,
Is it?
several
Is
other
it?
things, chocolate, coffee.
Hmm.
Is it indicative of the quality of this episode that we haven't actually talked about the episode yet and just the affliction that it covered?
Because kidney stones make me feel uncomfortable, and I really hope I never have to pass one day. I commend both of you for
Pray you
going
don't.
through it.
It's painful.
It really is.
It seems so scary.
The
There's nothing quite like having to push a dick rock out.
I just
the
had to have a balloon shoved up my sinuses and cracked them open from the inside out, and I
I
don't
mean,
want the kidney stone. I'm scared.
I, I'd get fisted by heavy machinery the other day.
We're talking about the bad times, Meep, not the good times.
That wasn't
Well,
a
I
good
mean,
time, Dalaran. I was legitimately walking funny after that.
so you were playing Fallout New Vegas. You found Fisto.
God damn it. This
So
episode I actually liked more than the last one, but I don't blame you if it lost you as well. Or if it
yeah,
lost you. I don't blame you if it lost you guys.
we'll get to that in the final count. I do have something to talk about in terms of the episode. The blonde red cell dude is a dick, and I'm really tired of pretending that that I like him or that he isn't. He's whiny, he's shitty, he's annoying, he's not a good person. I don't care about him. I don't like him on the screen. I give me back Brock's dad.
I like him. I think he's a good foil to them. I think he's a good foil to the main guy, and he's meant to be the common man. How anyone would react to this if this were happening in real life? Like, no, fuck that. Let's leave. He's the protagonist we want in every horror movie. It's like maybe we shouldn't explore that abandoned factory that has guts and that all strewn about it. Maybe we shouldn't.
Yeah, but then we have the other two senior red blood cells who are just the fucking worst, who are literally just terrible human beings, like terrible men.
Yeah, they
And
suck.
it's just like, okay.
By the way, was the last scene with them getting sprayed with alcohol, was that supposed to be a lead into another episode, or is that just like, oh, the kidney stone passed, the guy's drinking again, ha ha ha?
No, I think it's the lead in for the next episode.
Okay. Alcohol poisoning, probably. Oh god, a double kidney punch in the same episode. Or same series of episodes. Or no, that'd be the liver.
Yeah, I'll save it for my review. Otherwise, let's see. I mean, I think I've said everything I had to say about the episode, except for like the ending scene was actually good. Like the kidney cells, like just needing to cry, like we are the silent organ. Like I felt like the metaphor was a little bit too on the nose. Like, okay, we get it. They're not allowed to. The kidney is not is asymptomatic. It doesn't really. I don't think that's the right term. but basically the kidney doesn't signal symptoms often. When that's why it's so hard to tell if there's issues with your kidneys without testing. But like, I felt like the show thought it did something really clever with it and just kept putting it in our faces. And I'm like, I don't. Okay, good job. You get your gold star. I don't really care anymore. You've done the same reference 3-4 times now, but them just needing to cry and how important it is to like vent your emotions and your frustrations. Like you could have the best worker, but they just need a moment to break and for you to hold them up. And I thought that was really important. I thought that was really good. That was by far my favorite part about this episode is just the kidney cells were just breaking down crying at the end. I'm just like, yes, yes, cry. Let it go. Let it go. You just sometimes need to cry.
You didn't like seeing the white blood cells get knocked into the piss?
No. Felt bad for the white cell waifus. The waifu cells.
They just got their ranks back up and it's fucking dead again.
Now the piss is cloudy.
I've said all I can think of with this episode, too. Gilly, do you have anything to say about this episode?
No.
Didn't expect any other answer. Yeah. I suppose we should hold up cards then.
Yep. So go ahead and you go first while I drop a screenshot real quick.
As I'm going to fuck this episode. I enjoyed it more than I did the last one. It's just I ultimately didn't have much to say about it.
Fair enough. How about you, Gilly?
This show continues just to do nothing for me. That's just all it comes down to.
Is that a knife?
Yeah, that's a knife.
All right. For me, the ending of the episode was good. Like I said, I just talked about it. I did enjoy it. I like the work culture messages here and like the emotionally charged scene with the kidney cells, really good. But overall, I'm back to like starting not to care. Like I'm back to not caring. Like the action isn't really there. They keep cutting scenes that could have been really interesting, like the T cells fighting the bacteriums and the virus infected cells. I would have loved to see Bara T cells like destroying zombies last episode, and here like we get like a couple of cuts of like the white cells attacking the bacteriums, but there's nothing. It's just wasted potential. The red blood cell boy is pretty generic protagonist coon. Like I enjoy him as much as I do any protagonist coon, but at the end of the day, I'm like, all right, well, I'm not getting anything to keep me interested. Unfortunately, I have to give this episode a knife. That being said, next week's episode looks like it could be really interesting from the preview. I did watch it because I was just looking for something to engage me, but I can't judge this episode by the potential of the next week. So, alas, this is a knife.
I'm going to put down kill, not Jill. Well,
Valentine?
let's skate right. Yes. Let's skate right into our next show, Sk8 to Infinity, Episode 6. The skaters head to an island for some beach fun and some hot springs, but are assaulted by a creature native to the island. Adam learns the red-haired lady called the cops and proposes a tournament. Is it possible for a original series to have filler?
I have fun with beach episodes.
Same.
But half of it wasn't a beach episode.
But we didn't even get a beach episode. We got a hot springs beach episode.
The hot springs were barely a part of it either.
Yeah, unfortunately. I think that might have been like the joke that like, oh, we're having a hot springs episode and a beach episode, and the hot springs turned into poop. Because that's what they were. They were poop monsters, right? They were poop people. What the fuck was the second half of this episode, guys?
What the fuck was this entire episode?
Hey!
I love this show, but why did it just feel like filler?
Because that's what hot springs and beach episodes are. They're the cut in between.
But I have fun with those ones, though.
I don't care. Langa screaming, "Beach! Beach!" tickles the immature part of my brain and made me chuckle. Because we just have Lagna screaming, "Bitch!" as he runs toward the beach.
I did like Mia cock blocking Joe, like, no, don't take daddy away from me.
That was great. I think that was by far the strongest part of this episode was the actual beach episode. The just seeing all these hot spring bitches hanging out on the beach and just being themselves and their characters with each other was great. Shadow is great. Just he is such a well utilized character. It's yeah. Also beautiful. This
Casual
episode is
Shadow is
gorgeous.
best Shadow.
Casual Shadow. Shadow not knowing who he is the best Shadow.
I love him. He's become such a good character.
Oh yeah, 100%. I
Yeah,
I did
Shadow is
not
a really good character.
I did not expect. I am mad that everyone keeps shitting on Shadow. Like I think I'm pissed off because they all jumped on their boards and left Shadow with the luggage. Fuck them. Uh, but I hope Shadow sticks Sakura Cherry with the bill for hauling all his shit. The least Cherry could do is feed him. Um, but besides the fact, Shadow's become such a great character. I did not come to expect to enjoy Shadow as much as I have. I knew he was going to become a character like this when we talked about it in episode 1 and episode 2. Gilly, you were 100% right. Shadow is he's great, man.
Look,
The
the
character.
one thing I could
Sorry.
tell with this show when we started was how the opening portrays it. That it very obviously shows that that is the group. So I knew they were going to be at least like to a degree friendly with each other. I just didn't think it'd be so quickly like it's like, hey, this is a friend group now, and I love it.
Yeah, I still don't get me wrong. I still really like the characters. I still like the show. It's just the contents of this episode didn't really engage me because again, it just felt a lot like filler. The My favorite part of this episode was learning that yes, I was right. That red-haired lady was the one that called the cops. It was even though it was extremely telegraphed.
Is it confirmed that I'm bad at following
That
names?
that's what Adam basically confirmed. It was like, ah, yes, she was the one because she was suspicious that it was taken off the patrol routes.
She's the police officer, but she works with his company at a convention. She's a police chief.
No, she's not the police chief, but she was somewhat. It was. I'd have to go back and watch through the explanation, but he did say that yes, it was her. She was suspicious because it was taken off the patrol routes,
Mm.
and it was implied that she tipped off the police.
I was going to go. Yeah, now that we're talking about this, I remember I was going to go back and check it again to see if that is the case. But because they dropped a few names on us, they dropped her name, they dropped a police chief, they dropped another police chief, and I was just like, too many names at the same time. Didn't follow. I forgot to go back and check. So here we are. Maybe you're right.
I feel like she's going to be this antagonist to the tournament that Adam is setting up.
Pretty sure Adam's the antagonist because
No, he's
even
going to be the antagonist of the tournament. I feel like she's going to be the speed bump, kind of like you watch Megalobox, right, Dalaran?
yeah.
Imagine the mobster. I feel
Okay.
like she's going to play that role.
I, in terms of like positioning to other characters, maybe. But yeah, I do want to see more of her. Adam continues to be a creep, even on a chill episode.
Just how
Like
he be.
how
He
is
wants
this
to fuck the
man?
child.
How is this man in high standing when he gets out of his cab, out of his limo, and he turns around to his like his peer or something, and it's just like, what is the most important thing about enjoying a main course? And she's like, an hors d'oeuvre, and he fucking does the little, like the fucking matador dance that clicks his heels and turns around and like walks away, and I'm like, how? How are you a person of high social standing?
Because he rich man with a lot of money.
Crazy.
If you have enough money, you can be as weird as you want.
You can be as eclectic as you want. Yeah, Adam is
I
nuts.
don't want to think about that with what I've been saying about him. That's a can of worms I don't want to open. Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Also, this episode is super pretty. Like, from the beach
Oh,
to
yeah.
the way they drew the hot springs to, of course, the animation for like the little skate off, because of course we have to have a skate.
That's what they do.
So it's literally what they do.
Well,
Yeah.
was it a skate off? There wasn't really a race. It started as a race, then it turned into a oh, who did this?
Yeah, I didn't
It's
really.
a casual skate off.
I didn't understand the point of calling it a beef. It could have just been a skate.
Yeah. I don't understand the point of the poop monsters.
Apparently, if they cover you in their poop mud, you have good luck and protection from bad spirits.
Like, were they supposed to be indigenous to the island? Like, I don't.
I was expecting monkeys.
Monkey.
I thought the joke. I thought the joke was going to be that they got attacked by monkeys in the mountains that threw poop at them.
They're skating. They're skating through. Longa looks to his left. He sees a wooden man firing a cannon at a monkey.
Monkey. Why? Why did you save me? Monkey.
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 The
Monkey.
fucking meme.
Are we ready for cards?
Sure. I mean, I already said the show's really pretty. The show's funny. This episode did make me laugh when Langa fucking does the fucking cross and prays. He does the he crosses himself against the chest and prays when he opens the bathroom. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Warm in my heart. Just like when I buy hot wings.
Alrighty. I'll go first. As much smack have I been talking about this episode, I'm still gonna fuck it because the show has been giving me some really good stuff. So it has a good amount of leeway with me. Which if even if it's a bad episode, if I know the next one's gonna be entertaining, I'll still fuck a bad episode. It's like that date where you have where they're not really into it and you're not really into it, and it's a bad fuck. But you can work through it, and next time it'll be a good one. And I'm gonna fuck this episode.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to I think I'm echoing your feeling on this episode, Meep. I feel I got more out of this than you did. I'm also gonna fuck this episode, but at the same time, I wasn't really sure how I felt about it. Like the first half, I felt was super strong. Langa seeing a cute girl, trying to hit on her, getting completely ignored. The homies being dicks to him. You know what? I personally think you should uplift your homies, but there's some playful cattiness there that I enjoyed. The beach scenes were great. The skating was like in the summer, the excitement, the expressions of characters, all super good. I wasn't into the second half. I thought the second half was really weird. I don't know what they were doing with it. Still, the characters are fantastic. I love seeing everyone's together. Shadow's great. Everyone's great. I just don't think the humor landed for me at the end. But yeah, this show has built up way too much good faith for me to be upset about it and to kill it. And I cannot justicate. I cannot justify killing this show because of the second half when the first half was so strong.
Yeah. So it's the opposite of how you felt about Jujutsu. It was instead of the second half being strong, it was the first half.
Yeah, actually, kind of. Yeah.
Don't worry, next week Jujutsu will be completely strong. One of the best episodes.
Unless they one-shot Hanami. Anyway, Gilly.
Don't think that's gonna happen.
I mean, I'm gonna fuck this episode. I love this show. I always do. It's nice. It's pleasant. It's good stuff. It feels nice to watch.
Oh, that is a trifecta for Sk8 to Infinity. Let's move right into Wonder Egg Priority, Episode 5. God. Hold on. My notes. Okay. I and friends hang out at her place While contemplating if her counselor is after that ass, they then go to an arcade to play games and talk about their feelings, where Rika asks if they should really save people who are selfish enough to commit suicide. Nero admits her sister tried to kill her, and she isn't doing it to save her.
That is a criminally understated synopsis. Also,
That was already 7 sentences long.
you skipped over the fact that we got to see Neru's world. And
Yeah.
she is like in San Francisco or New York. That definitely looked.
It's supposed to be the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah. I think so. At the end, at the beginning, I wasn't sure if it was like New York or San Francisco, but I think you're right. It did kind of look like the Golden Gate.
And
also, is her weapon a guitar gun or?
I'm not sure. All
It's
I
a
know is
gun.
that it can go into a Beretta 50 cal. She's just playing Call of Duty.
Yeah, when in the beginning I wasn't sure if she had like a guitar or a gun, and then she dropped the fucking sniper, and I'm like, okay, it's a gun.
By the way, Nero is a bitch to the people she's trying to save.
So this is something that I'm learning. I'm realizing each person, each world, right? Each egg, there we go. Each egg that the girls use have some kind of reflection of themselves. And I think because Nero's relationship with her sister has a lot of contention there. Like, we don't know the full story. Something happened between her and her sister. Something really bad. Neru, while people consider her very pretty and kept together, her back is scarred up. Her sister apparently attempted to kill her. And there's so much more, I'm sure, that's going on there. And just, even without all the more that is definitely there, imagine your sibling trying to kill you. Like, that is traumatic as fuck. And I think there is a level of contention between her and her eggs as well, because there's just a different attitude.
Also, I forget. The only reason I remembered it is because it's in my notes. When they were contemplating if the counselor was after her, were they contemplating if he was after her mom or after I? Because I can't remember.
I think both. I think what the show is doing in that conversation, other than continuously highlighting the brilliant flaws of Rika, because in my notes I have twice, like, Rika, shut the fuck up. Oh my god, Rika, shut the fuck up. Like, you love to hate her. Like, that's her point. It's just this level of awkward and almost like uncomfortable sexuality that I think is starting to build a narrative around this character. Because I personally do not trust this counselor dude for a second. The fact that he's Momoe's uncle is reassuring, but everything else around him makes me uncomfortable. He is a counselor, he's a teacher, he paints his female students and tells them how beautiful they are and how he wishes he can see them as beautifully as he sees them. Everything about him is setting off red flags for me.
I think that's his point.
I know, yeah.
Because I personally do think he's after that ass, but whose ass? I'm not sure.
Yeah, like, I'm not sure if it's my intuition or if the show is purposely presenting him in this manner to make me feel this way. I hold up my arms with this show. I take me for a ride. I will always try to figure things out and read the clues and read, little hints, because that's what I like to do, especially with cerebral and cognitive shows. But I will suspend my beliefs for this show because I really want to see where it will take me. And I know I have a particularly strong affinity for the show, at least compared to you two. But I don't know, man. This dude is just, man. He tells them how pretty. It's just everything, how pretty they are and how confident you would be if only you saw yourself the way I see you. That can be super predatory. And I've seen this shit be fucking pulled by like other artists or photographers who are super predatory. I've seen people do this shit in real life. So when I see that, immediately I'm like, I don't like you.
Yeah, he's really creepy. I actually did like this episode a bit more I'm a bit on the fence with it though, because the stuff involving Naru, like, while it's still brilliantly done, and I see why it engages people, it just hasn't been engaging me. Like, I'm not gonna say the show is bad. The show is brilliant. It is very well done. It's just hasn't been doing a lot for me.
Mm-hmm. No, understandable. Um, Gilly, anything you want to chime in on top of the? Well, first of all, Gilly, did you watch this episode?
I did. I don't really have much I can really to say though. I just
That's okay. Meep, Russells.
it had me. It brought me back at one point. The show brought me back at one point in time, and I just like nah. It has not done anything to do it again. So
Mm.
that's just how it has me sitting here.
No, fair enough. Well, in that case, let's all talk about some stuff. If you have things to chime in, you're always welcome. Obviously, you are welcome to come on down. But I thought the opening to the episode was like great. I thought it was like super bombastic. We opened with like combat. We opened like with this fucking weird culty fucking predatory dude. A lot of oh, well no, I guess the second monster wasn't really predatory. We'll talk about her in a second, but I thought it was really great. Neru's a badass. She's obviously flawed. No one here is perfect, but uh, you know, as the show continues, I have it written here, right? Like, what a bombastic opening to the episode. Neru is a badass, though I do worry about her being so cold and shut off from people. And, you know, the episode kind of sets that up. It made me think and feel this because it showed it to me, and then it ran with that for the whole thing. And it's really fascinating because the second monster, so to speak, the main monster of the week, I was like, I think it's really fascinating that they made the girl herself the monster. How her own distorted views on the world made her own enemy. Because I don't think it was that subtle. Because, like, when she was talking, like, why don't you kill yourself too so you can stay pretty? Like, there was, like, distortion, and no matter how much she shot the little hair pom poms, they didn't die. And I'm like, it's her. The girl's the monster. It's her. And uh, she shot her, and like, and the great reveal is that this girl who killed herself because she wanted to be remembered forever young was miserable because she put herself under like impossible standards. And once again, like, it's wild to think that that can drive someone to suicide. But I thought about it after the episode, and I was like, yeah, you know, that can happen. I have heard it's rare, but like that doesn't make it any less valid. Our culture of superficiality and looks and youth and sexualization, and especially the way we make women feel like their value is determined by their physical appearance and attractiveness, and how there's a whole possessing and objectifying culture around it, can very well lead to these kinds of situations. So once again, I have to say, Wonder Egg Priority, well done. Uh, and who out of the four girls would have to deal with that kind of case? Only Neru would have the level of like callousness and detachment to like figure that shit out and do what she needs to do. So I thought that was pretty cool.
And that's just a thing in society and culture in general, is your worth is dependent on your looks. Like, men believe they have to be extremely ripped, like fucking Chris Pratt, and a lot of people, a lot of, especially in women. Like, I'm not saying it happens more on one side or the other, but especially women with Instagram culture, and that they believe they have to be really skinny, they have to have Botex, like, or Botox.
Botox.
Yeah, they have to have giant asses. Like, they essentially believe they have to look like Kim Kardashian, and it's really unfortunate that that's our culture. I people should be People shouldn't have to think that that's what their worth is dependent on. Their worth should A person's worth should be dependent on their actions and influence how they influence the world. If they're a good person or not.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the reasons why I really appreciate Neru saying what she did last episode to I being like, no, like, yeah, you're naive and optimistic, but like the world needs people like you.
Also, Rika, leave I alone. She's a pure being. Stop touching her thighs like that.
Yeah, Rika. Let's talk about Rika. So I got legitimately upset with Rika. Like I literally have in my notes like my fucking god, Rika, shut the fuck up because she's again being terrible. But at the same time,
Oh, sorry.
yeah, just Rika is astoundingly human. I think she is the most human out of all the characters we see because her flaws are like these are 14, 15, 16-year-old girls. It is amazing that they are doing this at all, left alone consistently and constantly. Like, and I'm so happy that the show chose to show this, especially through Rika, the doubt, the frustration, the fear, the desire not to continue doing this. And Rika constantly being like the one who's like bullying the spirits and bullying everyone to like slack off because she herself is scared and trying to, you know, deny the response, her response, denial of responsibility, avoidance, and this through distraction and because of guilt. All of that is so real, and
Yeah, and and the tragic thing is, at least in my opinion, she kind of has a point when she mentions, "Why are we doing this? We're gonna get ourselves killed." And don't get me wrong, suicide is horrible and people should definitely seek help, but it is a selfish act, but it's also, I'm not saying that people are like inherently bad people for doing it, but it is a selfish act. It's
I think,
and oh
allow
sorry.
me to step in really quick. Suicide is complicated. Suicide in its is inherently one of the most counter-human actions, or counter, like, you know we are hard-coded we are hard-coded to live, we are hard-coded to procreate and to survive, and suicide is the antithesis of that. um, what drives people to suicide, and I think that's something that this show is specifically tackling, can be many different reasons. Suicide is a very complicated matter and one that we can't fully discuss in this short session about talking this show and in general alone. But I think it's important to remember that the motivations for suicide can come from many ways. It could be selfish, it could be desperate, it could be very difficult, and it is those reasonings that make it such a complicated thing to battle, which is why people are encouraged to seek help, speak to a therapist, see a psychologist, have counseling, consider if medication is necessary. Um, but
Well,
it hurts
oh,
people around. I think, Meep, what you're trying to say is that it hurts the people around you as well, and I think that's one of the main things that gets talked about in suicide. Just the blanket
yeah,
statement that suicide is selfish is just something I wanted to like touch upon, but let's
well,
move on.
that I wasn't saying suicide is. I'm saying the act is, because even if you're not doing it for selfish reasons, it's still like, for example, oh, I found a $20 bill on the ground. I pick it up. That is a selfish act, but even if you go and spend that money on someone else, you still made a selfish act of picking it up that probably belongs to someone. You, while you're using it for good, the person who lost it is probably very upset. Or okay, $20 bill isn't a good analogy. Let's say $100 bill. That's a better analogy.
I see where you're going, and to that my response would be that like you're correct on again on surface level, but how do I put this? A lot of people who are emotionally or mentally hurt to the point that they consider suicide, that they become suicidal, often are selfless people, um, and they will take a lot of pain and suffering because they either don't know how to deal with it, or otherwise, or they don't know how to, um, yeah, they don't either know how to deal with the pain, or they feel like they need to keep taking it to move on. and that for them at that moment might be the one selfish thing that they can do, which is why it's important to give people options and to give them a sense of control. It is selfish, but sometimes people need to be selfish. And sometimes if people were a little bit more selfish, they wouldn't have been pushed to the point where they have to consider, where they are now considering this tragedy of human life, of life, of pain. Again, everyone listening to us, there is no right or there's no definitive correct answer here. This is a conversation that could span hours to just no, we still talk about it as a society, as a culture, as a species. Uh, there are no right or wrongs here. Just a discussion, just for everyone's sake. I don't want to be. I don't want people in the comments being like, "Oh, I think you're absolutely wrong," or "Oh, you think you're right." No, neither me or Meep are saying like this is how suicide is. This is just us discussing the very complicated matters that is, well, that.
Huh. I at the end of the day, I still do like with what Rika said. I on a level, I don't think she's wrong for having those feelings. It's they're like Ai's friend never even talked to her before she took her life, which has got to be devastating to
Mm-hmm.
Ai. And I don't think anyone would blame her for not doing this because she's giving her own life, and at the end of the day, it's a difficult decision to make.
Yeah, that's actually one thing that I didn't understand in the show. Like, why was the show treating like the reason Koito's like Ai's friend, what was his name? Koito? Yeah,
Koito,
yeah.
Koito-chan.
Why is the show treating like her suicide her reasons for suicide was not the bullying and possible relationship with the counselor? Like,
What do you mean?
I don't know, that whole scene when Rika started being antagonistic, it was treating like it wasn't definitive. Like the way the show was treating the scene was like as if it wasn't like as if the show wasn't sure that the reason Koito ended up jumping from the classroom balcony was because she was being bullied by her students and there were rumors about her sexual relationship with her counselor. And then why was it that Momoe was getting upset and not Ai? Like, if I was I would have snapped at Rika right there and then.
Well, remember in episode 1, I said that I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Koito. It's my fault you did. I still think there's more to Koito than we know. I am assuming that this is my assumption. I at some point told Koito that she wasn't comfortable being her friend anymore, and that might be why Koito did that. Because we know that I, for some reason, believes it's her fault. We don't know why. Okay, we might, because I wasn't able to get the good video when Koito was being sexually assaulted, but at the same time, we don't know if that's definitively why. I think the show's trying to keep some mystery around it because there's still some stuff we don't know. Like Ai herself said that she doesn't even know she's doing this because she wants to know why Koito did. Like it's easy to make assumptions on why someone did it, but there might be another underlying reason. You don't know unless you actually ask the person.
I agree, and I think that's actually what this episode was talking about with the second scene, is that like they don't know why they did it. All of them have their own theories, all of them have their own guilts, but at the end, Rika was projecting through Ai's experience because she herself didn't understand why the fuck her fan killed herself. Ai doesn't understand. Naru doesn't understand what was wrong with her sister. Momoe also doesn't fully understand what happened with her and her friend. And I think that is a very real moment of that. It's just like the people left to grieve, the loved ones and the close ones of the people who lost the person who committed suicide are left to grieve and try to understand why it happened, and that itself is could be a selfish moment too, because You just try to find meaning in a very tragic and traumatic moment. And just all these emotions are just coming out right now, and it's interesting to see because I'm so happy I has friends. Like when they came over her house, it was great, and they were all hanging out, and then they bully the spirits into hanging out in the arcade. But at the end of the day, no one is really okay.
I still don't understand why they're friends with Rika, because she's just the worst. Like, like other than the fact that they buy eggs together, is there any reason why they're friends? Like, I mean,
Rika,
I know I get with but it feels like Neru and Momoe just kind of tolerate Rika.
I think, yeah, Momoe forgives Rika a lot more than I expect her to, and I think Neru definitely tolerates Rika. I likes Rika because she believes in her. Because I is the bleeding heart optimist. Like she's so kind, and she knows deep down Rika cares, and she refuses to let Rika, push people away because that's what she's doing. Um, it's I you're right. You're right. But it still works somehow to me.
Can't wait for the Momoe retrieval arc.
Jesus Christ.
Let's hold up cards.
There's Before we hold up cards, one more thing I want to bring up. I think we see it every episode. I think I bring this up every episode that everyone is struggling with their own weight, and everyone, no more, no less, is like each and every single one of them is carrying an incredible heavy emotional load, and that they themselves don't understand it. And I think the opening does a really good job at emphasizing how we pass so many people each day, maybe less so now because of COVID. Stay home. Uh, but we pass so many people each day, every day of our lives, and we have no idea what any of those people are going through. Because you see I pass Neru on the street, Momoe on the train, Rika in the park, and each of those characters are struggling with their own weight. And you have no idea what someone is going through. So I really appreciate the kind. That's what I feel like the opening is doing, and it's just important to remember to be kind to others, be kind to one another because everyone has their own struggle.
I do appreciate the symbolism of the opening. I'm just not a big fan of the song myself. I
Yeah,
mean, the song works for what it's trying to do. It's not a song that I personally enjoy.
fair enough. Yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of openings this season have like one or the other where I like the visuals or I don't like the song, or I like the song, not a fan of the visuals. Like Jujutsu Kaisen, for the most part, like I actually do like the visuals that don't spoil the show, and I love the song. The song's a banger.
Banger. Yeah. I'll open with my card. Seeing as I kind of talk a lot on for this particular show, I'll just carry it over. I am, of course, holding up the eggplants. I am fucking this show. Um, I really appreciate what it does. The spirits are uncanny. They are almost human until until the facade breaks, until they really start engaging with them, and then you realize no, these things are not human beings. They are mannequins for a reason. Um, and the facial animations and the expressions during the arguments between the girls was like super important, and like really expressive. The show continues to be absolutely gorgeous, both like psychologically and visually. I love this show.
I am going to unfortunately kill this show because at the same time, I don't in I see why people like it. I see how well it's made. It's an art house piece, but I'm just not it's just not entertaining to me. This isn't what I watch the anime medium for. Like, okay, I love watching anime mediums where stuff like that is present and there are a lot of good themes with it. Like last season, we had a lot of shows like that, but at the same time, the meat that it gives me in between for the actual entertainment, it doesn't do it for me. And the pacing is odd at some parts for me as well. I don't know. It's like it's really good. I will say it is objectively well made. It is. I'm happy it exists. I'm not going and saying like, "Oh, you're bad for liking this," because no, you're not. This isn't King's Raid.
You stop that.
This isn't this isn't Fruit Tart.
You stop that. Stop calling me out.
Okay, fine. This isn't the original Fullmetal Alchemist.
Get the fuck out of this show, Meep.
But that one was meant to call Dal out.
That's also to call me out. You have been here as I've defended that.
Listen, I don't know what one in specific Dal likes that you don't, okay?
I don't know. I think the one thing that I think Dal likes that I don't, I think you like, so it doesn't matter.
This isn't like certain episodes of Akudama Drive.
Gilly, what's your card?
Can't.
Bastard.
I don't want to because I can see the writing in this show. I can see a lot in this show, but I just can't get behind it. It's one of those situations of I can look at this and I can appreciate every piece of it as in an artistic form, but I don't like it. And that's one of those moments. It's like, oh, this is good. I don't want to ever look at it.
Oh, are we getting a wheel?
Yes, because I have to kill this. Well, no, actually, that depends on what happens next.
Well, I have a feeling one of you is gonna bone the next episode at least.
No,
Yeah.
as much as I don't want to, because I can appreciate the show, it's just I can't in good conscience. So I do have to kill the show.
That is 2 knives and a fuck for Wonder Egg Priority, episode 5.
I understand, Gilly. Well, I wanted to encourage you to like. Well, if you understand, like give it the fuck for its artistic and like creativity and like and cleverness. But at the end of the day, if the show's not for you, that is a knife. So
it's like I said, it's a whole thing of I sit here and I understand like its artistic quality. I understand. I can't even say it's a bad show. I just can't enjoy it.
Yeah,
that's the whole situation that I'm sitting at here. I don't like being in this feeling this way because that's me having to look at something saying that like objectively it is well written and good. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's like this is good. I don't like it, and that is your right to do. You don't need to like everything that you consider is good. Sometimes things are not just for you, and if any show, I understand why this is it.
Alrighty. Our next show on our list is So I'm a Spider, So What? Episode 6. Spider fights an eel and evolves into a very strong evolution of themselves, while the kids continue to be boring and the brother hunts down and the brother of one of the main kids hunts down a separate spider, and we then see the demon lord being ominous and doing demon-like things. Oh fucking no, I was bored. Dal, explain to us your wrong reasoning for liking this episode.
The only thing I care about in this episode is the spider. I could not give less of a shit about the kids. And even the heroes party, who we've just met, I cared more about than the fucking kids. Can someone explain to me why Fire Emblem brother, hero, kid loves his brother so much? Why does he have such a huge thing for his brother?
Because his little sister has a thing for him. It runs in the family, I suppose.
God damn it.
You gotta keep it in the family in medieval times, Dalaran.
Yep, blue blood, to keep that hair blue.
He's gonna get his brother pregnant. I'm sure it'll work. There's magic in this world. Would you get taboo? Would you get the taboo skill if you sleep with your sibling?
That's a big definitive moment in this world, Meep.
Oh no, I fucked my sister. Now I have taboo level 50.
Yeah, questioning. So I'm a spider. If incest is a thing.
How do we go from one direct priority to this kind of fucking conversation?
I am the bridge that gaps it.
I don't fucking know.
Did the joke of the spider blacking out because the eel was so good, did that do anything for you too?
Nope.
Yum yum yum.
Yummy yummy, get in my tummy.
You know what did do for me?
The Demon Lord.
No. Heavens, no. When she made the giant the snake poop structure, and when she opened the tail to walk inside, the tail made a door sound effect, and I'm like, why? Why the fuck?
I don't know. I don't know what show I want to die the most out of the two shows that are. I don't know where I'm going with this. Take it away.
It's funny. I don't think it is for you, Dal, but for me, this show is kind of. It's not nowhere near the same feel, but it's in a lot of different ways in terms of the enjoyment I get out of it. Become my replacement for Kuma Bear.
Yeah, 100%. It's Kuma Bear is better.
It's not exactly this. It is not the same kind of thing because Kuma Bear just warmed my heart and made me happy to watch. Something about this just is enjoyable and just funny and nice.
Exactly.
And we didn't get as the kids were here. They weren't the super focus of the episode like I was worried they would be. So at least there was that.
Next episode, don't worry.
I don't care about the kids. The fucking angry kid who's like a fucking sociopath, raging moron. Like it's so stupid, and I actively hate it. Well, maybe not hate it, but I actively dislike it. However, I agree with you, Gilly. Like this show, I think this has become this season's Kuma Bear for us. Not because it's wholesome and nice. It's definitely missing that key element to get the affection from me that Kuma Bear did. Because in Kuma Bear, I actually cared about the other characters. Here, I only care about Spider. But in the same sense that Kuma Bear is kind of like head empty, OP, isekai, kind of like no high stakes kind of situation, this is scratching that same itch. I'm just enjoying the spider. I'm enjoying seeing them level up and evolve and seeing their skills grow. And then she turned into a fucking Digimon.
I hope you enjoy 24 episodes of these kids.
I find the way you're talking about this show just interesting, only because, again, I don't know how you're gonna vote on this, but at the same time, at least the way you're talking about it, when we first started talking about this, you were just not happy because of cookie cutter isekai.
That's exactly what it is. It's a lot of cookie cutter isekai, but enough episodes have gone by where Spider has a personality. I genuinely enjoy Spider's voice, the voice's performance. I think it's great. She was way too happy to announce the using of the eel's corpse as cover to evolve. What the fuck is this show? Why is it so gory sometimes? Like this is the shitpost of the season that I can enjoy. This is where I turn my brain off and I just watch some silly fun times, crazy fun times. The ending The ending never ceases to amaze me. It never gets any less ridiculous than it is.
You mean it's the shitpost of 2 seasons, Daleron? All we need is one episode of only the kids and the dead.
Yeah.
Look, I'll be honest. Yeah, no, I can't even dispute that. It just needs, if we get another episode where it is nothing but those shit ass kids, then I will not be able to have fun.
I'm honestly on the fence right now because like the episode itself was fun, but it wasn't as fun as last week's.
I feel like last week the way they did it. I feel like it's kind of hard to top for in terms of just enjoyment.
Yeah, because it was a lot of the same jokes. Like the eel was super tasty. The fight was cool-ish. There were some funny moments, but there wasn't as good as episode 5. And I know the kids are coming, which just I actively don't care when they're on the screen. Like they showed him storming off and punching through the window. His dude is a fucking like he's the kind of guy that breaks doors and walls when he's upset at home. Like
his name's Kyle and he loves Monster Energy.
Yeah, it's like I don't care.
This you guys put me through 12 episodes of pain last season. Why are you going to put me through another 24?
Yeah, well, if it dies, we don't have to continue into the next season.
Is this just how it's going to be? Is it going to be each season you just double the amount of pain you put me through?
Yes, I can't wait to the 48 episode season 2 of Kuma Bear.
I think I'm gonna.
Yes,
I think I'm gonna
Cloak.
put the knife. I am sitting here thinking about this, and the ending of the episode did not make me happy. I was not like, yeah, let's go. I enjoyed this episode. I did. I enjoyed this episode for the spider. But the longer I sit here talking about this with you guys, the more I'm realizing that they're setting up for some fucking Demon Lord bullshit. And the kids are going to be more involved. And not Marth, doesn't matter to me. And even the evolution bit where she literally winks at the camera being like, oh, I can evolve. Oh, I have a new evolution, a new form. I'll do that later. Wink. I'm like, cool. You did this twice already. Yeah.
Yeah, the setup for the overarching story is... I don't really care. I don't need an overarching story for this fucking show.
However, Meep, how do you feel about the spider's new domain expansion ability?
What?
The spider, she got a domain expansion.
I must have blocked that out of my thoughts because I don't.
When she turned into the digital world, she also got a domain. I think it was like domain instance or something, where she could like create an area of her own effect. Spider is a jujutsu sorcerer or a curse, Meep.
I'm not even going to justify that with a response. Think about what you've done. Think about the fact that you compared this show to a master. Back and apologize later.
It's Digimon Jujutsu Sorcerer Spider. Jujutsu Digimon Spider.
You're comparing Birdemic to Titanic. Stop it. No, you're comparing Birdemic to The Shape of Water.
There's so many ways I can take that, Meep, and I'm not going to. Anyway, do we want to hold up cards?
Sure, I'll hold up a card. I take Spider by the hand. I throw her into the air. I pull out a Glock. I shoot all of the kids, and while the spider is falling down, I remove my blindfold and open up my infinite void. I'm killing this show.
I want more Spider. I really do. I actually want more Spider, but specifically Spider, nothing else. Fuck it, let's make this wheel more interesting. Knife.
Yay!
This is one this is one I don't want on the wheel.
Then
I
kill
mean,
it and it
Gilly,
won't be on the wheel.
yeah, Gilly, you're fucking it. You know it. We know you are.
No, I'm fucking the show. I'm just I'm sad that it is that it is now up for the possibility of just dying.
Of this wheel I've been making, I have to take off the possibility of kill all or keep all.
Yay.
I'm happy we're getting more wheels this season.
We didn't quite kill it, chat. There's 3 shows now with 2 knives and 1 fuck on the board, which means we're gonna have to spin a wheel at the end of this. Meep, prepare that to send my way. And we will see what dies at the end of this session. Speaking of fucking and killing things.
Hold on. One moment.
Hold on. I'm not ready.
I feel like I know what your vote for this episode is gonna be, but I'm gonna act like I don't. Horimiya episode 6, where people start making fun of Hori and Miramura for their relationship, so he changes his look and kisses her. Then a girl starts stalking them and claims she had a crush on Hori first. Miramura talks to her and learned her brother is fucking dead. Then Hori and Miramura watch horror movies with the dad. I just want to start this off by saying I know I'm gonna get shit for this, but I feel bad for the dad.
I don't.
I feel so bad for him because we have not been shown any proof that he doesn't care about his children, and they just keep shitting on him, and I don't know why. Why do they hate him so much?
Dad kind of got on my nerves this episode, not gonna lie.
Hori hates her dad. We don't know why. I expect them to show us, but I wish they'd show us first before this.
I don't think she hates her dad. I just think she doesn't take his shit and gives him shit in return.
I know she wasn't actually wanting to kill him, but the scene of her saying, "Let's reenact the scene from that movie," and lifts up the chair, that seemed a bit far.
Okay. I did laugh at that because of the dad's. While the dad character, Kyosuke, whatever his name is starting to get on my nerves, I found his vocal performances to be really fun, and his scream in that ending scene was really funny.
Why is he getting on your nerves? He's a good bean.
No, he's not. Okay, I think it just got weird for me right off the bat. And Gilly, I'm kind of curious to hear what you think about this. So, the opening scene for this episode was weird, right? Like, it made me uncomfortable. Is it a thing in Japan for, like, the father of your high school girlfriend to invite you to take a bath with him and be so hands-on and feely and tell you and insist that you sleep in the room with, like, his relationship with Miyamura is very strange, and I get the show is like, oh, it's your best friend Miyamura, as if, like, the dad is, like, very playful with Miyamura, but, like, I found it to be inappropriate, personally.
I mean, I know it's, if I remember correctly, it's fairly common for for the same genders to bathe together, whether that's in a spring or personally. And I know him staying in the room has to do with the fact that he's not staying in the room with Hori, and that's where that just mostly comes down to.
Yeah,
The kind of the weird touchiness, I think, just has to do with how he is. And that was kind of the odd part for me. A lot of the other stuff I think is more just like
cultural,
a little more normal culturally, but I don't that one I don't know about. That part I don't know about.
It's a common way that the in-laws bond with their essentially their new sons-in-laws, because people do take that very seriously in Japan. Of, you are now my son-in-law. You are basically my son now. Like, your extended family will treat you as if they gave birth to you. Like, for example, if I were to marry someone, their parents would treat me like I was their own son. That's just a very common thing in Japan. In Japan, family is very important.
Mm.
It's just a cultural barrier thing. Like it's why we see lots of women bathed together in certain anime, even although that's also for fan service. But it is also very common.
It felt strange, and Miyamura was so obviously not comfortable with it, which made me uncomfortable with it. Like we got some good
everything though.
We got some good gags out of it, like when because the show knew that it was being uncomfortable, right? Because it paired it up with the movie with the dude like being like not taking no for an answer with a girl on the alleyway, and then Miyamura punching her dad, or what is it? It was paired up with the movie, right? Because it was saying that the dad is being inappropriate. He is being sleazy with Miyamura, and it's like meant to make me feel uncomfortable. And then the Yakuza tattoos, they're not Yakuza tattoos. Whole bit was funny. It's just the scene in general. I'm like, okay, so the show knows that this is uncomfortable. If I was Miyamura, I would have just went home.
Yeah, but he wants to be with Hori.
I actually do like Kyosuke.
Now, you talk about weird things in this episode, and things that made you uncomfortable, and that was me as soon as he cut his hair.
Aww.
Beautiful hair.
You don't like his new look?
No, I don't mind it, but I just liked his hair a lot. It's not bad. It really isn't. Though I thought after he cut his hair, he looked more feminine.
Right?
Oh.
He definitely looked more delicate.
It's kind of funny. He looked more feminine afterwards, and it was kind of funny to me.
As someone who had long hair in high school and people made fun of and teased all the time, and the moment I got a more popular haircut and how people started talking to me and hanging out with me and treating me differently, I related a lot to this episode. I'm like, you superficial little shits. Fuck all y'all.
I did really like the whole thing where like everyone else is like, no, yeah, no, that I don't mind them shit talking our relationship with Hori saying that Miyamura, but no one took into consideration Miyamura doesn't like it though. It gets to him, and
Yep.
everyone keeps saying, yeah, no, don't pay attention to it. They're just superficial little shits. But as someone who does have trouble when it comes to that, it's hard. It is definitely very hard to block out stuff like that. It's hard to say, yeah, no, that doesn't matter, but it still could. It still does matter on a level to you, though.
Yeah, it's true. It really does, especially for Miyamura, who has a lot of like social ostracization complexes and insecurities, and personal like self image insecurities.
How are we feeling about the girl this episode?
We go from one worst character to one that's we go from bad to worse.
Kyosuke isn't bad. Take that back.
Kyosuke's annoying.
He is not. If anyone is annoying when he's around Hori, I don't like how she constantly. I don't like the jokes against the dad of like, oh, you're not a part of our family. It's like, then why do you let him over though?
Because they're not. Because obviously things have happened. Because notice how the mother is very polite to him, but not very affectionate.
Well, that's how the mother is with That's how the mother is with Hori.
I don't know. Maybe.
The mother has been more affectionate to Miyamura, which I kind of want to know more about, because I don't think it's the read I originally got, but I am curious.
If the read is that the mom wants to bone Miyamura, then fuck off me.
No, that was my original read. That was the read I brought up in episode 2, but I don't think that's the case anymore. It was presented in such a way in episode 2 that made me think that.
The new girl is like Remy, except if Remy talked a lot more and was on camera a lot more. Like, she's a little fucking gremlin. I don't like her.
Nothing like Remy. What do you mean?
She irritates me.
That doesn't mean she's like Remy. There could be two different types of characters that irritate you.
Fine, she has the cute little gremlin emote when Hori's like fucking intimidating her, and her eyes are darting around, which I thought was like a really nice little animation touch. But I thought it was fun.
I just always get sad when I see, like, I almost don't want to make this point because I know I'm gonna get shit for it, but whatever. I do get kind of sad when there's a same sex character, but they're always played for, or there's a homosexual character, but they're only played for a joke, and I incredibly dislike that.
You're doing a lot of crunching sounds, me.
That's I'm trying to rip my cat off the couch, but she's latching on.
You should probably mute for that, bud.
It's either I rip her off or I mute and she's stuck on there for the entire thing.
Just stuck, gripping to the couch, existentially terrified.
Look, this cat has a death grip. You don't understand. But yeah, no, I often don't like it when when a LGBT a gay character. I'll just say I won't dance around it when there's a gay character, but they're purely used as a joke. I don't know. It just makes me uncomfortable personally.
I don't really know if I agree that she's played off as a joke. I think this show does a lot of things, does humor with a lot of their dynamics. I just don't like her as a character. I understand that she has a tragic backstory, and I feel for her, and I get that she's, looking for the next person to kind of fill her brother's role in her life, and she's going through some shit, and I feel for her, but she's obnoxious, she's loud, she's exactly what I didn't want from this show. She's the thing I was afraid was coming. The unnecessary complication. The third person trying to make this into a love triangle. Except while I thought it would be like an older guy after Hori or a different girl after Miyamura, it's a younger girl after Hori. And cool for LGBT representation. I'm glad that she's so open about her sexual and romantic attraction to Hori. I don't like her.
It's not even a love triangle because this girl has affection and does want to be with Hori. Hori's not going to break up with Miyamura for her. Like it's not a love triangle because there's nothing romantic that's going to come of that. Like if you for a second say that, oh no, I think Hori's going to break up with Miyamura for this girl, I'd say you're fucking crazy.
What I meant to say is that, I just didn't enjoy her on the cast. Like, normally when they introduce characters, it's been really well executed. Like, they kind of introduce them, they have their piece, and then they kind of walk off stage, allowing everything to continue. But she kept staying on stage, she kept staying on camera, she stalked Miyamura, she was extremely obnoxious, and, I just don't like her.
I don't either. And I still really love the show. Okay, to clarify, everything else in this episode I really liked. Miyamura and Hori's kiss was good. The whole people shit talking their relationship, that was good. And the stuff with her brother I didn't hate. It's just my issue is just what I mentioned earlier. Just I wish she was a bit more of a character than comedic relief, and they did do that later on. But at the same time, I wasn't too into that.
I don't know. She lives literally next door to Miyamura, yet he's never seen her. We've never seen her, and it felt so forced and shoehorned in for me. Like for the first time, the show felt like they forced a character on stage into the story, and it's a little disappointing. But anyway, enough on me. Gilly, what say ye on this particular episode of Horimiya?
I think. I still had a good time with it. I was still happy with it. But I will admit that it didn't bring me the same kind of heartwarming enjoyment that I've been getting. And honestly, with how it was, that's kind of that wasn't really the focus this time around. It was just I still like it. There's this show's not gonna lose me. I already know it. And I'm realizing, watching the show, there is one thing that is going to be not my favorite thing, because I've realized that it's probably going to become a regular thing happening, is there's going to be regularly someone else vying for Hori's affection.
Ah.
I can already see, because it started with Toru, but that went really well because now I mean, he still has feelings for her, but him and Miyamura are fantastic friends, and that worked out really well. But I can already tell that that seems to be part of the formula. It's going to be a regularly occurring thing. That there's going to be someone.
I can't wait for the red-haired teacher arc. We haven't seen him since
And
episode 1, by the way.
yeah, we made comments about that episode 1, and then he never showed up again. No, it seems like this seems like the formula is kind of leaning in that direction of becoming more of a regular thing they do, which I will not be. I'm not exactly excited for, because after a while you do that so many times, and all of a sudden it stops really being interesting. But it all I also think it's going to go that way because of the way they keep speaking about, in multiple episodes, how attractive Hori is and how she could date anybody. It's a thing that's come up a few times, and they're really playing into it.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan
It,
of it, but
Yeah.
I can tolerate it. I'll just probably get tired of it, but I'll still like the show itself. My main issue
yeah.
is, if Miyamura continues to be the way he is, there's always this just questioning every time there's someone else that has affection for her, and makes me angry.
I liked seeing Miyamura get angry when he was like, I don't like the whole, like, normally if they didn't play it off as well of a joke as they did, but like when he's like picking Hori up and saying like, all right, we're going to class, and Hori's like, he's being a little rough, and I'm glad that Hori spoke up about it. She's like, hey, Miyamura, like what the, like, he like grabbed her by the arm, like hooked his arm to her arm, and like started dragging her away. I was like, hold on, Miyamura, let's not get carried away here, because you're gonna end up ruining the relationship because of this little gremlin who's now constantly butting her face into your relationship. Um, and then Hori has this good scene where she's like, Miyamura, ow, like slow down, and he's like, listen to your boyfriend and go to class, Hori, and she's like, oh, okay. And
It seemed a bit like, I think
Um,
she liked seeing Miyamura take charge there. That didn't seem like her being scared. I think she actually kind of liked that.
could be. But yeah, I think Hori's encouraging this girl too much. I think she's enabling her a little too much. The fact that she follows Miyamura around and waits outside for Hori to like, I just think it's really inappropriate, and I want to see what the show does with it. But yeah, I agree with Gilly as well. It's just like, it's weird, and I'm worried that this show's going to continue doing that. I mean, it's a slice of life romance, and it needs a little bit of drama. We need complications. I just don't think this is a very well done one for the show. For the standard that the show has set thus far, I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah, this definitely, I think, was the weakest episode for me, but I still enjoyed it because, like I said with other shows, like there are 3 shows that have built up enough good faith with me that I would keep through them for at least 2 or 3 bad episodes. There's one that I'm going to watch at the end no matter what, but we'll get to that one at the end of the season. I wonder what one that could be. Suspense. Yeah, no, I get you. This has built up enough good faith that I think I could last through two to 3 bad episodes, and this wasn't a bad episode. I still liked this one.
Should we hold up
It
cards?
would have to be 2. Sure, I was just gonna finish up my thought saying it would have to be 2 episodes that did literally nothing for me. Can't believe they killed off Miyamura in the 3rd act. I'm gonna fuck this show.
killed off his hair.
They knifed Miyamura's
I like
hair.
his new look.
Don't dislike it, but I just loved his hair. I'm definitely going to fuck this episode. I love this show. I really do. It's done so much for me. I will say the transition from last episode into this episode was kind of weird for me, only because last episode had me crying, and this episode, it was just it was good, but it didn't giving out even like a fraction of the same amount of emotion, which makes me sad in a different way.
Yeah, except when they kissed. That had some good emotion to it. He took my candy.
Yeah, I don't get that scene. Like, that was implied to be their first kiss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was done very unceremoniously. And then later on, she at the ending scene, she's like, I wish you would like be a bit more affectionate with me. You put on the moves, quote unquote, on me. And he's like, oh, oh. Like, it felt like that scene came after that scene. I don't know. This is
I think that might have been. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think that might have been like that scene was actually supposed to be before, but there might have been something that got mixed up in the actual editing of this video. Because with the way the chapters are structured, it wouldn't surprise me if people messed up some of the what's the word, organizing of the stories. Because each chapter seems to be like 3 short stories.
Mm-hmm.
Also, something I realized regarding the chapters. So the confusion I got, where it seemed like it was still on, the whole thing is still ongoing. It's listed as that because they're still translating all of it. It is finished, but it has like 126 chapters.
Jesus.
And again, they're almost going one for one with these episodes.
But yeah, with this is by far the weakest episode of this show thus far.
I don't disagree.
Hmm?
I don't disagree.
Yeah, which sucks because I
However,
like.
we were going to get a weak episode eventually. There's no way it was going to continue to be perfect.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
And this is, the mid-season, so this is when the mid-season, the infamous mid-season slump starts coming in. So I understand. But this just wasn't a good episode. The pacing felt really off for me. The whole kiss thing with the candy was really cute, but it was like come and gone. And then we got the secondary kiss moment, but not at the end, which was cute. It didn't feel real. I didn't follow this episode as well as I did every other one. Like, like he kissed her to like get the candy out of her mouth because she didn't like it, which I thought was an extremely sweet scene, and I've done that before too. So I'm like, yeah. But then they both got really bashful about kissing again at the end. Why? That was starting to annoy me, constantly butting in on every moment, and I guess that's the point, but it just didn't win me over. This new girl is exactly what I did not want the show from the show. It's just like this annoying character who's butting in. And the thing is though, because she's a younger underclassman female, Miyamura can't like clash with her the way I would want to see him clash with someone, which is where you see him be more assertive and aggressive. Like he even says like, if you weren't a girl, I'd punch you in the face right now. And I'm like, yeah, you know what, man, fair. But like, it just wasn't good. But this show has built up way too much good faith with me for me to kill it. So I'm still gonna fuck this show because I know it's gonna get better from here. Or at least I'm willing to bet that it is gonna get better from here. But if it continues like this will be a tragedy in terms of FMK.
You're supposed to kick him in the cooch, son.
It's just this episode kind of sucked. There were some really nice moments there. I thought they were really cute, but overall, I'm just like, I didn't. It felt like watching a second season of how the quality changed from one episode to another. But hey, I still love Horimiya. I still think the show is fantastic, and I'm really, really, really excited to see where it goes. I'm just really hoping this isn't the change of pace that we're going to see from here on out.
Yeah. Well, that is a trifecta for Horimiya.
It deserves
And
it.
guys, we have 3 shows on the wheel today.
Yeah, send me.
The first time in FMK history where we have had 2 wheels in one season.
Really? Oh
So?
yeah, last season was yeah. All right,
We only
send
have
me
the
the
one
link.
that saved both shows.
Send me the link and send me the whatchamacallit, the text
no.
I put into it. Oh, you PM'd it.
Now let me get on the stream before you start this.
Already?
Just give me one moment. I'll give you the okay when I do.
Damn it! I forgot the royalty-free music.
Also, don't say anything because you're going to see this first before any of us.
Yep.
So don't say what dies.
Alrighty, guys, it's time for the Wheel of Names.
Misfortune.
Pain.
Chat, you don't spoil it either. I want to see in live time.
All right.
What our decisions have wrought.
All right, chat. We're gonna spin. You ready? 3, 2, 1.
You guys are gonna have to tell me because I don't have.
And the death is oh.
What is it?
Don't say it. I want to see.
It's there. It's on the
Got
stream.
it.
And
there's a 10 to 15 second delay, Delaron.
oh no, it's showing live on me. The death of this week's Wheel of Names is Spider.
The only one I didn't want to
Yay.
die. Well, now I just get to have less fun this coming week.
You can still watch it.
Oh.
I don't have time to watch anything else. I haven't been able to keep up with any of the other shows.
Well, the question is, would you rather watch Spider or King's Raid?
That's a hard question to answer.
Oh, that was not the one I was expecting to die today. I was actually expecting... Now, I am happy this is the one to die, because this is the one that I was so worried. It's like, man, this is the one that's gonna... This is the one that isn't guaranteed to die throughout this season, because if I keep feeling the way I do on Wonder Egg's days are numbered. Same with Code Black. And then we'll be left with only 3 shows I have to watch a week. Yay!
I mean, it almost landed on Code Black, but it inched forward.
That I would have been fine with.
Yeah, same. If I had to choose from the 3 Code Black, I would have enjoyed probably one more episode of Spider, but unfortunately, this is where we are.
Don't worry, I am totally gonna fight for Code Black to be on the Rotten Tart Awards, because they should not have lived this long.
To be fair, I did say that the next episode of Code Black seems interesting to me, so at least there's that going, for me, at least. I'm sorry, Gilly.
It still shouldn't have lived this long. It was way longer than I expected.
I've done nothing. Chat, I've done nothing. I voted with my heart. My Wonder Egg survives. I can continue enjoying and openly talking about this show. I am a happy man.
The day Jujutsu, Sk8, or Horimiya dies is the day one of you have made a horrible mistake. Or 2 of you have made a horrible mistake. Though I don't think Jujutsu will ever die. Now that we're getting to the really ramped up part of this arc, I think it's going to keep us on. That's just my prediction, though. That's just a theory. A game theory. Actually, no, it's more of an anime theory. Oh, what are your theories?
My theory is that I still have a headache, and today has been rough. So, while I am sad to see Spider go, I can't feel too bad because all the other you can't have a show succeed strictly by one character. That doesn't make a good show. It just has a really good ability to use its one character. I will miss its ending though until we start talking about best endings of the season, in which case I'm sure Spider will be brought back up.
Yeah, though of all the endings this season, I only feel strongly about when I think about it, I only feel strongly about one. That's just because of the theme of it. Like I absolutely love the theme and the stylization of Jujutsu's ending. Well, it's not as fun or bopping as the last one is. I actually do like it more than Lost of Paradise, just for thematic reasons alone.
I think, yeah, I agree. I really enjoy.
I love Sk8's.
Sk8 has a fun ending too.
I love Sk8's closing.
Yeah.
Everything about it, the way it sounds, the art style for everything going on in it, and what's happening in it is just nice.
Am I okay? Am I alone in thinking the awards this season are going to be a lot more interesting?
I feel like certain things that didn't have much competition last season will have a lot more competition this season.
Oh yeah.
I feel like certain things are going to be flipped.
Oh yeah. Like prettiest show this season, it's going to be rough. Actually, probably won't be as rough as last season was. Now that I think about it, I don't think anyone's gonna be nominating Spider as prettiest show.
That's CG.
XR.
And with that, all the CG anime are fucking dead.
Oh.
No, Jujutsu Kaisen has CG in the opening.
It's not good there either.
I actually like some of the CG in the opening. Like it's the Gojo CG in specific is really good in that opening.
No more cum dumpy
Need
webs,
CG?
guys.
Damn. I need to get that sound, and I have a soundboard. I should put it on it. I actually do have a soundboard. I haven't been using it.
No.
I feel bad that. Oh, actually, wait. No, Alok didn't die this season. Never mind. Or this. Alok hasn't died yet. Never mind.
Though two of them were on the wheel.
Multiple times.
Gilly has the best track record with locks so far.
Seriously, yeah.
Because I pick safe choices.
I pick interesting ones.
Sexy not vampire men, mystery, shonen, and also skateboard crazy pretty. I think you just pick the pretty boy shows, and that's why they don't die.
I honestly end up picking the shonens because I fucking love them.
Oh yeah, like listen, I'm shonen trash, but I also enjoy really good anime, and Jujutsu Kaisen is not shonen trash.
No, Jujutsu Kaisen is really good. There's no denying about that.
It is a shonen. It is a really good anime though. I'm a bit sad you two weren't feeling it this week, but it's not like Akudama where I'm worried that you guys are gonna fall off. I don't think you're gonna fall off with how ramped up it's getting. That's just my theory though.
I just think we hit the mid-season slump because so many episodes just didn't really do it for me this week.
Fair enough. Like, of the episodes we watched this week, let me look. The ones that I was super warm on were Jujutsu Kaisen. Sounds like we're Code Block. Okay, I was like, am I really only going to be able to list one episode that did it for me this week? But no, Code Black. Code Black did it for me this week.
Sk8 really did it for me. But Sk8 always does it for me.
I don't blame you. I don't know. This episode of Sk8 just felt really fillery to me.
It did kind of feel fillery, but that's just because it was that, the
After
lull.
everything, it did feel like it was sort of. So one thing I didn't bring up with it is it did feel sort of. It almost felt kind of out of nowhere and uncomfortable, the shift from what happened last week to this week.
Yeah.
It almost felt like it didn't. That's honestly, I think that's where a lot of the filler sensation comes from. It's like, where do these link? Because it feels like just so like out. It obviously it just feels out of nowhere. But
Yeah.
I also appreciate the episode significantly because, like, after everything that happened, there's a nice little break for them where they, even though shit happened, they still got to, relax and have fun.
I feel like if the later half wasn't as weird as it was, and if the first half was them like talking about, yeah, no, let's go to this hot spring, and we actually saw their thought process of, okay, let's get together and let's go to the hot spring. It wasn't just, we're on the boat now. That was
Yeah,
really
but
kind
that
of.
would require a whole nother episode, and I don't think then at that point you would have hit a little filler arc when you'd give 2 episodes dedicated to
Well,
this.
no, I'm
And we
saying
don't
get
know
rid.
and we also don't know how many episodes. It stays every time I check, there's still not an estimated number.
Yeah, I think Skate is gonna be. I think Skate is gonna go until it's finished, which will probably be 11 or 12, or 12 or 13. I mean.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I just think this Skate's also an original, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
anime
Yeah,
only.
I think they just
which is
tried to
why.
do something and it didn't work for me or me. I
Yeah,
did not care about the second half of the episode. Personally, I think we could have had a single episode without skating, but apparently the show disagreed with that, and I think it took that personally and just decided to put skating on the way to the hot springs as well.
I feel like on one hand I could kind of agree, on the other hand, the show is just it's all about skating.
It's true. It's true.
It's kind of it would almost feel like on one hand they could have done without. Oh my fucking god!
The fuck is that?
Amber Alert.
Oh,
I can't turn those off. Trust me.
I know. I hope whoever
Those
is getting the Amber Alert will be found and will be all right.
my. Dalaran has been was last seen in a white minivan traveling across the New York highway. Just us like, Dalaran, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. I'm hunting down the pedophiles.
I lost my train of thought because of that.
It's alright. This show's about skating, so it only makes
Yeah,
sense.
it's about skating. So like, it's all about skating. So if it didn't have skating for an episode, like it could. On one hand, you feel like it could. On the on one hand, you feel like it could work. On the other hand, it would almost feel wrong.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, I'm not mad about it. It's just like the show is what I think at the end of the day, Skate is what it is. It is an over the top action skateboarding anime with great characters and just really cheesy, almost trashy plot points and like character relationships. Like the whole Joe Cherry thing is starting to get old for me, but the show is what it is, and I'm still really enjoying it for it, even though it's not always 100% for me as it turns out. But also, who knows? It could be just a little dip for this show as well. Maybe just a little bit of that mid-season slump taking its effect, and in a week or two we're going to be back on it 100%.
Yeah, and again, it's not like I hate the show or this episode. It's just it was a weaker episode. Oh,
Yep.
Sounds like where Code Black apparently has its dub being worked on now.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, shall we do our outros and call it out?
Oh, I was actually going to ask, is it okay if a little bit of a, not graveyard tour, because this isn't a show that died, but just mention a couple of the shows I watched this week?
Sure. Go. Actually, you know what? In that case, I'll just open up with the Graveyard Tour because I also did watch the latest episode of Jobless Reincarnation.
Why?
Because I need to know how bad the show is. The start of the show is the start of the episode is legitimate funny. The whole noble house family that they live in now that Rudis is with is ridiculous and over the top. The Lord Father of the violent princess brat comes off really slick and apologetic, but in reality he's just as silly as everyone else, because the patriarch of the family is this fucking giant old like warrior man who just screams everything, and he's so aggressive and he's so over the top, and you completely understand where the princess gets her attitude from and why this family is the way it is. When it comes out that the Lord told Rudis not to say that he saved the princess, the Great Lord comes up and just punches his son in the face. His son just starts bowing and just like, I'm sorry, I thought it was a good idea. Just still smiling, but bowing, bleeding from his nose, being like, Father, I thought it would be wise not to let the Grey Rat name out beyond these walls because there are people who would use it against us, knowing that we have a larger family than we do. And he's like, oh, okay, that's a good point. Still, learn how to take a punch better, and walks away. And I'm just like, what the fuck? We got a really nice scene.
Sorry. I was just going to say, is Rudy still terrible?
Oh, yeah, I'm getting to that. We had a really nice scene where they went... We had a really nice scene where they went into town, and it was beautiful. They had, like, big ramparts and walls and, like, marketplaces and, like, houses and people living their lives and trading different goods. And we get this whole thing about, like, learning how to, like, figuring out how to save a few silver or copper pieces here and there. And Gilzane, the wolf girl, is just like trying to learn math with Rudy, and it's great. Except then Rudy finds an aphrodisiac that he plans to use on the princess, and that's disgusting. Oh, what's that? He tries to grope and feel her up while she's asleep, resting after running away from his lessons. For every great step this show takes, it takes 3 backwards with its disgusting, rapey humor. But at the end, instead of getting a powerful magic book, which would have made the show more interesting, the princess gets him the aphrodisiac medicine. Except she doesn't know what it does, and they end up wrestling, and they break it, and he cries.
Again, why do you keep watching this?
Because the show is really pretty, and I want it to be good, but I know it's not going to be.
Well, this week I watched a few shows. Beastars is really good. Kimono Jihan is... It's doing some things that I'm not the biggest fan of, but ultimately I'm still enjoying it. What other shows am I watching? Golden Kamuy, its 3rd season. I won't say anything too intensive, but it's episode 9. Insanely good. I know I could just watch and finish off the last episodes with the sub, but I want to experience the dub first, just because I personally think the dub is better than the sub. As well, not an anime of this season, but me and a friend have been watching through Vinland Saga. It's pretty good. It doesn't feel like a traditional anime, actually. It feels very westerny, like almost like if Game of Thrones was an anime.
I've heard mixed things about it. I'm curious to check it out just because of the Viking whole thing, but yeah.
I've actually never heard mixed things. I've only heard really good things about it. I heard people were really upset that Demon Slayer won Anime of the Year, and a lot of people, like, it was a very popular consensus that this should have won Anime of the Year. Which my only issue is that I saw a lot of people who are always like revenge stories are bad, really enjoy this. And it's like, you enjoy an anime that it is only a revenge story.
Looks like I have 2 shows to check out. Yeah, well, looks like I need to check out Vinland Saga and Demon Slayer.
Yeah, Vinland Saga is really good. I actually haven't seen Demon Slayer yet. I do want to watch it. I've heard it's very shonen-y, which makes me excited to check it out. But yeah. Those are the shows I watched. And guys, next week we'll be going with our episode 7s. We've officially hit our halfway point.
And we've officially cut down half of our shows in our roster.
It's been steady deaths this time.
I think we have less patience than we did in our first season.
Especially because I've been watching like 5 more shows.
That's on you, homie.
It would be 6 if I was watching Dr. Stone. but I'm waiting for the dub first.
That's all on you. Anyway, guys.
I'm not saying it's anyone's fault but me.
Anyway, guys, as always, yeah, this was fun. I am super drained, so I'm going to sign off. I've been Dalaran, also known as Dalaran Quest. Meep, I'm echoing off of you. Thank you guys for checking us out. As always, come catch us. Our times have been inconsistent. Join the Discord. Look at the link in the doobly-doo, or if you're watching us live, join the Discord. Link about to be posted in chat. We enjoy doing this. Life's hard. We're adapting. Catch us live on twitch.tv/Dalaran Quest. DALARON Quest. We're going to be doing Outer Worlds again. Going to get back to streaming D&D every Tuesday. Pay attention to the schedule for updates as well. And yeah, it's been good having you all here. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks everyone for coming. I've been Meep, joined by my co-host, Gillian Dalaran.
Say bye to the nice people watching us through the glass, Gilly.
Ape smash class. Ape strong. Ape say goodbye, have good time, M. Gilly.
And with that, we'll take a moment of silence for So I'm a Spider, so what? Before it is dead.
If I was any good at video editing or animation, I would animate the Soam Spider Girl getting stomped on by like the really big Monty Python foot.
In the arms of the angel.